There it is. All right, it says I'm live. Well, ooh wee. It's been a long time, y'all. It's been a long time. There has been so much going on, you guys. And I just want to like fill you guys in on my journey. Um, and it looks like Facebook has changed some stuff, so I'm trying to make sure I can see everything. Let me see, too low FPS, whatever that means. The current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate. I hope that doesn't mean that I'm going to be moving too slow for you guys. I don't see where anything will pop up like comments. So, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to talk about my journey. I feel like there's a need for me to talk about my journey in here. I met a lot of new interesting people. This thing keeps popping up, so please forgive me. Let me see how to set my frame rate. 15 to 60 frames per second. How they gonna take me into a whole nother page while I'm actually recording live? Like, that's not making any sense. Maybe I need to do it here in the settings. Oh well. I hope that stops popping up. So I want to tell you guys, especially all the new people, you guys have no idea how much I'm so excited to be, getting to know all of you and to be working with you guys. I can sense multiple projects coming on. And shout out to my friends Steve, Allie, and Linda Tilson, because we also have a project coming up, a course that we are starting on April 1st. As a matter of fact, there is a discount available until March 15th. So I will post a link so you guys can see the link for our website, and you can see all the packages that we have and the discounts that are available until then. I've also agreed to do a couple other collaborations with people. Some of them are just kind of on hold, I guess. I haven't really heard from them, but I'm just going to be starting some on my own because I'm like, when the time is right, you got to move when the time is right. You know, you guys, how that is. It's the same thing as when you have a thought that comes to mind. And when that thought comes to mind, if you don't act on it right away, or if you don't repeat it to someone who needs to hear it, you tend to forget it, or it just, doesn't get done. So it's the same thing with what's going on with these projects that I'm just itching to do. So I'm excited about that. But I want to talk a little bit about who I am and my journey. So a lot of you know that I grew up, in religion, and it's been my entire life, right? I was born into it, and I pretty much practiced it all the way up until last year, for the most part. Last year was the first time I, just publicly decided to disassociate myself. There were a lot of things that led up to it just because of my life and all the things that I let me see. So sweet. Oh, I've met so many beautiful people. So many beautiful people. Okay, so there were so many things about my life that led me to what I'm doing right now on my journey. So a lot of it you're going to read about in my autobiography, She Walks Among the Angels, and my conversations with God. So it's like a two-part for now. For now, it's two parts. Who knows? It's probably going to be multiple parts. However, those are the two that I'm going to be starting. So yeah. Let me make sure. Let me see. How can I do this? Oh no, that's too little. Let me open it back up. Okay. All right. So, oh gosh, I noticed that there were always some things about me that just didn't gel with everything else about my lifestyle. Um, Whatever is going on with you internally, the things that you were born with, the qualities that you're born with, and the abilities that you have, those are the ones that are going to come to a head, come to the fore as you get older. And when you get older, you may be doing other things, but these things you're going to find are going to quickly agitate you. They're not going to fit in your life. And this may be in the form of a job. It could be people in your life. It could be a marriage. It could be a relationship of some sort, you know, with friends, with family, with a significant other. You're going to notice that something just doesn't fit. It just doesn't feel right. When you start to feel like that about any of these things, that's when you know your purpose is calling you. And when you answer, things are going to start to make sense. Everything around you is going to start coming together seamlessly. And you're going to wonder, how did you toil all of your life when all you had to do was just answer the call that was within you? And so you guys know that I love this new app that I've been on called Fanbase. And so there are a lot of rooms in there that people, like audio rooms that people join. It's kind of like Clubhouse, but it has way more than Clubhouse. It has features like all the other social media out there, pretty much all of the social media, the big ones. So, you know, check it out, Fanbase. I'm July Wellness across all platforms, so it'll never be hard to find me. Oh, Billy. So yeah, guys, yeah, you're gonna notice that things start to fall into place when you answer the call of what your purpose is, and when you start to let everything else fall away that's not really a part of that, that's not meant to be on your journey. All it's going to do is cause problems, agitation, aggravation, all of that, right? That's how you know that it's time to make some changes. And then you got to start to learn to do what feels comfortable for you. And I know that may sound like a catch-22, because sometimes we find ourselves outside of our comfort zone to reach those things that just feel right mentally and feel right within our hearts. But once you do go ahead and answer the call, it's because it kept calling. You couldn't get it out of your head. Or people keep coming around and mentioning the same thing to you, or you keep getting the same invites to certain programs, or certain videos keep coming across your news feed. All these kind of things are things that give you the indication that it's time for you to step into that thing that's coming from out of your own heart. No one else can tell you what that is, you guys. There's no one who could tell you what that is. Other people may try and tell you what to do or how to do it, But if it's not resonating with what's in there, that's why it's so important to choose your tribe. When you find people who start to talk to you about what's going on in here, that's how you know that they're supposed to be a part of your journey, which is why I'm doing these collaborations with these ones that I love. So be very keen about who you are. Oh my goodness. Pay attention to who you are and protect that with all that you have. Don't just be led by any little, suggestion or offer or any of that, because all it's going to do is just delay all the blessings that are lined up for you. It's just going to delay it, and that's frustrating. That adds years of frustration sometimes onto your life, where you're doing nothing. I mean, you're doing something that is completely unfulfilling, completely unfulfilling. And then you just don't even want to, you might not even want to, you just feel like it's not worth your while. So, but yeah, so the things that led me to that was knowing that for years I knew that I wasn't really comfortable with what I was being told or what I was being taught. I knew that it didn't sit right with what was going on in here. So, like, the whole thing about there's only one way to worship. There's only one way to worship. And if you don't worship this way, you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed if you don't worship this way. And also, if you don't teach other people to worship this way, you're going to be destroyed. And I noticed that there's still a lot of people who actually, live their lives like that, both inside the organization that I was in, of course, but also outside. Like, they're not the only ones who feel that way. I come across a lot of people who feel that if you don't do it this way, you're going to lose your life and you're going to be destroyed. Your life is going to come to an end based on the fact that you didn't listen, especially to what the Bible says. And I have such a newfound view on what all that means, especially for me, not for anybody else, but just for me. As a matter of fact, when everybody else decides that, how the path that they want to take, that's for them. It's for them, and it has nothing to do with me most of the times. When it does have something to do with me, that's when we, can like collaborate on our journeys, or even just enjoy each other's company on our journeys. Whatever feels right. So I want to encourage people who are going through, a time where they feel that their lives are shifting, and there are things that they want to do to enhance the quality of the people around them. Pretty much everybody goes through a time like that where they start to notice or pick up on that. When you do, if you need any encouragement, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me if you need any encouragement when it comes to that. The other thing is, so I don't know, like, okay, I guess something's telling me to go ahead and describe what it was. What are some of the other things that made me change my journey? So that was one of them, that I didn't feel like, there was only one way to worship. The other thing is, and this is the reason too why there are some people who meet me, they're drawn to me, but then they butt heads with me because they're so strong in their beliefs that they feel that you're supposed to conform to what they believe. And the thing that I'm talking about in particular is if there's a God and who he is or she is or it is, and what do you call it? And a lot of people feel that it's important, how you label it. But the other thing that I've noticed in my life, that it didn't matter what anybody labeled it, or he or she, right? It doesn't even matter. They still get to wake up every morning. They still get to breathe the same air that I breathe. And they still have the sun rise and set upon them. And on top of it, they receive blessings the same way I receive blessings. And what I noticed is the thing that we all have in common is that we have a respect for whatever that is. Not only do we have a respect for it, but we have the deepest gratitude toward whatever that is. And it doesn't even matter what you label it. Sorry, went down the wrong pipe. It does not matter what you label it. You can, hold on. So, even with me, so I grew up as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. All my life, I've called God Jehovah. And all my life, I called his son Jesus. And all my life, his pre-human and post-human existence was Michael the Archangel, is Michael the Archangel, not past tense. So that was my understanding. Now, just because I viewed the hierarchy in that way doesn't change how I access that higher source, just because I've changed the way that I worship. In other words, because I've discommunicated myself with the organization, the religious organization, if I still choose to call on the name of Jehovah or Jesus or the angels or any of that, it doesn't mean that my access to them has changed. And that's where I feel that a lot of people get things kind of, or make things a little complicated, because they feel that it must be done this way rather than it being a choice. And so instead of just concerning themselves with how they choose, they also want to influence everyone around them. And then they notice that they get into, like debates or conflicts. And I, after meeting some of the people that I've been, in association with lately, I appreciate how people are saying, debating can be a way for them to expand their minds or exercise their knowledge, So it's not always necessarily true that a debate would lead to like an argument or something. But for conversations that do end up that way, where people don't know how to agree to disagree, that's where you find that there's like, agitation, conflict, especially when it comes to people that are close to you, that you call like a close friend, or someone that you may be in a relationship with. So, but that's my take on it. I feel that when you access your higher source with the purest intentions and for the greater good, this is how you're able to reap blessings. It comes from that. It comes from your intentions, and it comes from you concerning yourself with the side of good, rather than creating a lot of bad energy or bad intentions or energy that's going to be a serious disservice to others. And so Um, I'm a strong believer in alchemy, energetic alchemy, and all forms of alchemy. But with the type of alchemy that I'm talking about, it does not matter how you address something as long as your thoughts are pure and intentional. That is what causes you to be successful at manifesting the things that you both want and need. Those are the things. And also being open to the way your higher source or the universe is going to maneuver things in your behalf. And I really want you guys to get the sense of that. If you are open to the way the universe is going to maneuver things in your behalf, you're not going to put up such a resistance and keep having those blocks that keep your life at a standstill. And I figured that out when I noticed it had to have been probably back in January, I guess, when I had this energetic clearing. I had this clearing that caused me to open up. And even though it was out of my comfort zone, I knew it was something that was required for me to move forward to the next phase of my progress. Because I've been on this journey for at least 4 years now, if not more, like 5 years maybe. I've been on this journey, and it's just, oh my gosh, like, you guys, it's such a therapeutic journey. You're going to hear a lot of things about like spiritual awakenings, all those funny memes about what a spiritual awakening is presumed to be like, but then what it's really like, you know? And so, yeah, there are times where you have where you're adjusting, right? Where you're adjusting to the way things are, and it might not feel so good. You're going through things that feel like a healing crisis in every way, including mentally and emotionally. And again, plug, that's where my collaboration with Steve and Linda come in as the quantum freedom strategists. I'll post the link, so check us out. But yeah, once you learn how to adjust and allow yourself to go through those changes, once you allow yourself to be open to those changes, it's the best therapy you will ever experience, because that's the road that's meant for you. That's what was designed. No, I'm sorry. That's what you were designed for. You were designed for that road. And the road was paved with you in mind. So just know that that's something that is calling you for a reason. When you're feeling that urge internally to listen to that call towards your unique abilities and your unique purpose. I posted something today that talked a little bit about how, whatever that is, no one can really tell you what that is unless they are an intuitive professional. Otherwise, people will just be guessing, and they may think they know based off of other people's experiences. That's not always true. It's not always true. So just You know, unless, again, and I'll repeat this, unless it's something that resonates with what is within, which is why I'm not a big fan of reading a lot of books. I don't read a lot of books. I read the ones that resonate with what's already in here. If anybody, any person, any book, any YouTube information, anything, any type of info comes into my radar and it does not resonate with who I already am, who I was born to be, then I don't have anything to do with it. If it's something that's meaningful to someone else, I respect that. I respect that it's meaningful to them, for them. But it has nothing to do with my journey. And I just wish that people could respect that more about each other. And again, and I'm probably going to repeat this throughout this video, it doesn't matter who you address or what you address as your higher source, as long as your intentions are pure, as long as your intentions are purely for the greater good, that's how you end up reaping all the blessings that you do. When you see people who have all these blessings in their lives, but they don't worship the way you do, or they don't believe the way you do, and you're wondering how is it that they're able to manage to do all those things, it has to do with loyalty to what is for the greater good. And it also has to do with pure love. Pure love. Do you know what that is? Pure love is who you were when you were born. That's pure love. That's pure love. And the more genuine you can be to that, the more integrity you can have toward yourself. That's what's going to get you far in life, and that's what's going to allow you to live out your purpose and successfully stay on your path. Pure, genuine love. That type of energy. And it can't be faked. It can't be feigned. It is what it is. And it is pure. And you attract people when you do that. You attract people when you allow that to completely seep down into every little ounce of your being, all the way down to the cellular level. And that is the power of alchemy. That is the power of alchemy. Love has the power to transform. It has the power to transform, you guys. And it has the power to transform everything around you to the point that your life is exactly where you want it to be and where it needs to be in order for you to do the things that satisfy you. Again, the things that satisfy you is based in love. It's steeped in pure intention. And the only reason anyone deviates from that is because either they don't believe it, they don't practice it, or they give their power away to something around them. And they allow that to be the guidance in their lives. They will literally take their hands off the steering wheel and hand it over to something or someone else. Some people will release their hands off the steering wheel and hand it over to fear. Some people will release their hand off the steering wheel and hand it over to an entity, a spiritual entity that gives them all types of empty promises. Or even if they're not empty promises, they are promises that do not have anything to do with love and light. So, in other words, some people take their hands off the steering wheel and hand it over to the energies that are steeped in darkness. Don't hand your energy over to anything like that, you guys. This is all about who you are and the power that you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel throughout your life and guide your life. You are a co-creator. You are a co-creator, and you can create anything when you're going about it the right way. So I just want to share that with you guys. I just feel like it was important for me to get on here. I know I haven't been doing live videos in a while, and especially too because I now have been all over that other social media. I know that, you know, since I haven't been doing much on here, Facebook, a whole lot of other social media, they don't really care for that, obviously. So yeah, I'm very sure that a lot of notifications are not going out. So, you know, hopefully you'll see this on my timeline or in your news feed and get a chance to watch it later. But I really felt compelled to share that with you guys. Sorry for, you know, well, no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for the road that I've been on, because it's led to so many blessings. So many blessings, you guys. And I want to take you guys along with me. So I really do hope that that you guys are listening to what I'm saying and are reading in between the lines. There's nothing that can stop you unless you allow it. Not even these different forms of social media who don't want to promote you or allow you to organically be seen and grow. They can't even stop you. They can't even stop you. So keep all that in mind, you guys. Stay strong, stay focused, stay determined. Always set your intentions, and everything that you need will always be right at your fingertips. So I love you guys. I'm going to end this video now, and I will see you guys soon. Y'all take care.